feel like we need to be really honest about something. Life is gonna smack you in the fucking mouth, and it's gonna hurt, and you can't run from it. This kind of stuff is gonna happen. It's just inevitable. I think if we go about our lives and we think that things should be easygoing, smooth sailing, we're just setting ourselves up for misery. Recently, I got smacked in the mouth, which is why I'm talking about this video. And I don't want to give too many details because I'm still going through it. I'm still processing it, and I'm growing through it. I believe it's happening for a reason. This thing that smacked me in the mouth is forcing me to reconsider my path. Not necessarily reconsider my path, but pay more attention to those things that maybe I'm sweeping under the rug. This is why I feel like getting smacked in the mouth is so important. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it sucks in the moment. Yes, we feel those really horrible feelings and we don't know what to do in those moments. But that's okay. Throughout my 20s, I've realized that life is an ebb and flow of ups and downs, of good and bad, and light and dark, if we want to get all spiritual with it. And that's just what makes this process of life. We wouldn't appreciate the good times without the bad times. We wouldn't appreciate the good person that we've met without going through a rough time with another person. We wouldn't appreciate the good client that we have if we didn't have the bad client beforehand, and so on and so forth. So in a way, pain is necessary for growth. Pain is necessary for realigning you on your path. What I'm going through right now, and I'm growing through, has happened to me in the past before. And I think that has played to my advantage because in the past, had this happened and I were in a different situation, I'd probably be freaking out right now. And it feels weird. Like, yes, I am stressing about it slightly, but I'm not stressing about things the way that I used to, which is really interesting. And I think it's a sign of growth. And for you, if you are going through something really stressful, just know that things will get better. You're going to build thicker skin, thicker, more resilience. And you'll be able to process these things a lot more seamlessly as time goes on. But you can't avoid the negative things or the tough times or just the smacks in the mouth. You just can't. It's going to happen, and it happens for a reason. The universe, God, however you want to see it, wants you to face challenge so that you can experience growth. The universe, God, whatever you want to call it, wants to put difficult things in front of you so that you can open your eyes to something else that is more purposeful, more meaningful, more aligned with where you're supposed to go, right? I truly believe that. And it took me a lot of years of self-sabotage to realize, oh my God, this is all happening for a reason. And of course we know that in retrospect. We can think back to times in life when we were really struggling through something and we look back and we're like, I'm so glad that I struggled through that. That was a pivotal moment in my life, right? Do you feel that way about yours? Do you feel that way about things that have happened in your life that in the moment you couldn't believe, or maybe you were like, this is the end, and here you are watching this video, going about your life and still making progress, still standing up on both feet, getting out of bed, doing your thing? How fucking awesome is that? Pat yourself on the back real quick because we in this together. And I think it's good to remember that when you're going through good times, don't be so surprised when something bad happens. Bad is a very general word, but hopefully you get where I'm going with this. And also, when you're going through bad times, know that good is to come. In my last video, I talked a lot about the power of detachment. And if you haven't watched that video, I think it would really serve you if you feel like you are dealing with really extreme emotions that feel like this is the end. I highly suggest go watching that video. It's something that has changed my life. But really, I've noticed that the more detached I am, the better my life gets, because I'm not so clinged to a certain path, and it allows me to be flexible with life. It allows me to see new opportunities and like I said earlier, open up things that I might be shrugging under the rug. When you face failure or you lose something in life, It's an opportunity for you to level up. And I think that is the biggest awakening that I've had with it, is that, these failures or these mistakes or this trial does not define me. It is only positioning me to level up. Now, obviously, when you get smacked in the mouth and it really hurts, you don't instantly have to start fighting back. Like, allow yourself to process those feelings. Allow yourself to heal whatever injuries you're facing, whether it be mental, physical, whatever it is. Give yourself time to process it. You know what that looks like for yourself. But don't let yourself fall into a rabbit hole where you're just stuck in a hole, you can't get out, and it's like, woe is me, right? We've all been there. We all know what it feels like. But it doesn't mean we have to stay there. The best version of you doesn't want you to stay there. The best version of you wants to use that and turn it into purpose. Use that pain and turn it into purpose. Do something about it, right? Like, it's also a sign of maybe where you were falling short, and you just got to be real with yourself and take extreme ownership of where you're at, what got you here, and what you could do differently. The only way you can find that solution and actually make the change for yourself is by taking extreme ownership, by saying, yes, this is my fault. Yes, I could have done things differently. Yes, I could have communicated better. Yes, I could have been more intentional with things. You have to take that ownership first in order for you to experience the growth later. But know that when a door closes, another door is opening, as long as you choose to see it that way. Because you can choose to see it the other way, and the door will just stay shut forever. And you can close yourself off, you can close all the windows, you can close the doors, you cannot let anybody in, and you can just bet that you're going to stay stuck. For sure. You can make that choice, but you can also make that choice to open up the blinds, to open up the doors, to open up your heart, to open up your relationships, and to talk about things. Because through opening up, you'll start to attract new opportunities. You'll start to attract a new version of yourself. You'll shed that old skin and realize that all of this is happening for a bigger reason. There is a bigger purpose through all of these trials and errors. And when you are going through that moment of just fucking getting smacked in the mouth, remind yourself what you do have. Because we do have this negativity bias that when something negative happens, it's all we can think about. And I know for myself that when I am going through difficult times, like, yes, go talk to somebody, open up about your feelings. That can definitely help. But get out of your head. Ask yourself, what helps me get out of my head? Like, for yourself. For me, what helps me get out of my head is getting out of the apartment. Physically choosing to move my body, to get out, to go into nature, to connect with nature, Man, I was having like a really tough day yesterday, and it's crazy how much God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is looking out for you. Because I could have just stayed in my apartment and, got fast food, watched Netflix, and just kind of like threw my feelings to the side. But instead, I picked up groceries and I told myself I was going to eat a really protein-packed meal. If my mental is not feeling great, at least I can feed my body something good, and hopefully that can make me feel better, right? So I get this steak, or before I do that, I put the potato in the oven, I grab my steak, I season it, and I walk to my apartment grill. We have 2 grills at the apartment, and both of them are finally working. Fucking amazing, because one of them was out for like 6 months, which is no fun. Come on. But hey, it's working out. That's all that matters. But also, as I was walking to the grill, I'm listening to this song, and I'm just feeling like this immense feeling of gratitude, even though that I just got the bad news, right? I feel this immense amount of gratitude to the point where like I'm hearing this song and it's like making me almost tear up. I couldn't even describe the feeling. I felt so in tune, like, damn. I've said this in a video before, but like nothing makes you feel more present than pain. Anyways, I get to the grill and I run into some fellow neighbors that I haven't met before, and I noticed that they were Hispanic, and I grew up around a lot of Hispanics, so I know a little bit of Spanish. So I walk, I'm like, hola, ¿cómo están? Which basically just means, how are you guys? And like, muy bien. And then they're like, oh, you know Spanish? But they said it in Spanish. And, you know, we start a conversation and I get to know them, and I find out that these people came from Mexico, you know, years back, and they faced like some really crazy shit in Mexico. Like, can't even just walk on the street. Like, how much of a blessing it is for you to be able to walk outside and go on a walk, put your earphones in, and not have to worry about somebody robbing you, kidnapping you, stealing something from you. I already said robbing, but just fucking with you. Like, that's such a blessing to be able to just walk outside and do that. And as I was talking to them, I was telling them stories about my childhood with my other friends who are Hispanic, and how one of my friends from high school, my best friend from high school, his grandma made this meal that was so good. I'm pretty sure it was tacos al pastor, which is basically pork. It's kind of like that Mexican dish that has like the red looking meat. They put a seasoning on it that makes it look red. When I was in high school and I would go to my friend's house and eat that, I don't want to tell you the rest of the story, but let's just say that I loved that food. I ate way too much of that, and it was always worth it. And so I mentioned that to them, and they were in the middle of cooking because they were at the grill next to me, and they offered me food, and you know, offered me a taco with some really good guacamole and green salsa, and they had some corns and some corn on the cob and bell peppers and lime juice. Dude, like, that's like, to me, that's heaven. I love that shit. Oh shit, we're getting a little bright. Hold on. Okay, that's better. We're kind of keeping it chill with the production today. I didn't feel like put all my light equipment up. So anyways, they let me have this taco, and that shit just tasted so good. And it reminded me that there are so many beautiful things in life to be grateful for, even when you just got bad news of something that you didn't expect. There's so many beautiful things happening. We just have to open ourselves up to it. And I read about this in a book called The Untethered Soul. There's a part in the book where he talks about there's two ways you can go after a breakup. You have the option in the middle of a break, or right after a breakup, to just huddle up, not talk to anybody, shut off the world, and just stay in your own room. Stay in the bed, never get out, never eat, blah, 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 blah. Which has its time and place. To process those emotions like that can be useful. Or you can open yourself up. You can open your heart. You can say that, you know, like, I'm not attached to that negative thing that just happened to me. And you can open yourself up, and what happens? New opportunities come to the table. So I think there really is some power to not letting those feelings keep you stuck, because boy, it is easy to stay stuck. So you have to make the conscious decision, even though you don't want to. And it starts with one thing, one small thing. And that maybe could be like a 2-minute walk. Just go on a 2-minute walk and then go back in bed. And it's every day, like, maybe add 30 seconds to the walk. And what you'll find is that you feel better over time. But reminding yourself what you do have can be the catapult to getting you out of bed, to finally making that step towards something scary. You know, saying yes to the next chapter of life. Think about one moment in your life where it felt like there was no way in hell you were going to get through it. And ask yourself how you ended up getting through it. Reverse engineer that. What would you have told your younger self through that situation? And likewise, what do you think your future self is going to tell you in this very moment? You know you're going to be grateful for this beating that life just gave you, this broken jaw that life just smacked you in the mouth. You're going to be grateful for it one day. What that's going to be doesn't matter at this point. But what you can control is your attitude. And if you can control your attitude, you can pick yourself back up. You can put the clothes, you can put the shoes, you can take the shower and just get ready. And do things that you know will make you feel better. Go to the gym. Go outside on a walk. Call somebody that is close to you. Open up about your feelings. Do the thing that you've been shrugging under the rug for far too long. If you can do those things, how beautiful of a thing is it that you got smacked in the mouth? because it inspired that change that you needed, that your higher self, that the version of you on your deathbed needed to take the next step in life. How beautiful is that? Like, it's giving me chills just thinking about it. And I think that's what I was feeling whenever I heard that song and I was on the way to the grill. Just this immense amount of gratitude. Like, damn, that fucking sucks that just happened. Really sucks. Really, really, really fucking sucks. But you know what? It does not define my potential. It doesn't define my next chapter. And if anything, this is probably what needed to happen in order for me to take the next step into the chapter that life has for me, that God has for me, that the universe has for me, that I want for myself. It's, I don't want to say sad, but I'll go ahead and say it. It is kind of sad that sometimes we have to go through such pain in order to experience change, the change that we're looking for. But in retrospect, if that's what it takes, then by God, I'm thankful for it. And I hope that the way that I'm seeing this tough time can inspire you to handle your tough time in a more positive way, in a more useful way, in a way that's going to serve both of us on our path to whatever it is that we want. At the end of the day, you go to bed, unless you're in a relationship, but for the most part, at the end of the day, you go to bed alone and you wake up alone. And you wake up thinking about yourself. You go to sleep thinking about yourself. If it means that if you're going to go through this change, this pain and this change, and look in the mirror and be proud of yourself and think of yourself more highly and believe in yourself and support yourself in a bigger way, then it's worth it. It's absolutely worth it. But again, don't rush the processing of those emotions. Allow yourself to just be. Action isn't always the answer. And I think I need to hear that for myself. Taking action isn't always the answer, at least right now, in this moment. If we feel like there are some emotions to sort through and we just want to sulk in that shit for a little bit, and our life is not on the line, and we have the opportunity and the blessing to process those emotions in a healthy way, then do it. But don't distract yourself. Don't just numb the pain, because it's just going to delay the process of making progress. Pain is so useful. It is trying to tell you something. So all this to say that when life smacks you in the face, know that there is some crazy growth that's right around the corner. I believe in it. I believe in it for myself. I believe in it for you. I believe it for everyone. We're all human. We all make mistakes. We're not perfect. We're all flawed. But we can look at those flaws and ask ourselves, how can we get better? Take care of yourself. You are the one that goes to bed and wakes up alone every day. It is your responsibility to take care of yourself. At the very least, you owe that to yourself. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Know that we're all in this together. Like, nobody is immune to pain. We all go through it. Even the most successful people go through it. More money, more problems, right? But accept it. Embrace it. Don't numb the pain. Support yourself. Pick yourself back up. And ask yourself how you can be better. This is the path of growth. This is the path of self-development that we're all looking for. So thank God for this pain, because I'm going to learn so much about myself, and I'm going to do some crazy shit that I'm going to be so grateful for. All right, I'm done rambling. Love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.